Welcome, baseball fans. Okay, let's dive into this because the summer heat is rising and the 2026 Major League Baseball season is officially rounding the corner toward October. Today, we're looking at a completely fascinating snapshot of the playoff race, and we aren't doing this through gut feelings or locker room chatter. Nope, we're looking through the cold, hard lens of data. In this explainer, we're breaking down the Baseball-Reference 2026 playoff odds to see exactly who is poised for glory and, well, who's staring down the barrel of a long, quiet winter.
Now, to really appreciate what we're looking at today, you've got to understand the absolute sheer computing power working behind the scenes. Every single percentage point we're about to look at, it's the result of 25,000 individual simulations. That's right. The computers over at Baseball-Reference have literally played out the rest of the 2026 season and the playoffs 25,000 separate times just to generate the probabilities we're going to explore. It's wild.
So, how does a simulation like that actually work? It's definitely not just flipping a coin. The engine calculates a team's estimated quality based on their base stats from their last 100 regular season games, and it even bleeds over into the previous season if it needs to get a fuller picture. It also bakes in a regression to the mean factor, which is really just a fancy mathematical way of saying it expects overperforming teams to kind of cool down a bit and underperforming teams to bounce back. And keep in mind, everything we're looking at today is a highly precise snapshot of the standings exactly as they were on July 17, 2026.
Here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll look at simulating the 2026 season. Then, the most likely scenarios, the National League picture, the American League picture, the wild card chaos, and finally, looking ahead to October. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Simulating the 2026 season behind the math.
So, as of mid-July, the computer has spoken. It's processed the rosters, the run differentials, the strength of schedule, the whole shebang. But, as any true baseball fan knows, the game isn't actually played on a spreadsheet, right? It's played on the diamond. A single pulled hamstring, a sudden slump from your star hitter, or maybe an unexpected rookie call-up, any of that can shatter these projections overnight. That incredible tension between the cold mathematical probability and the unpredictable human element, that's exactly what makes the pennant chase so thrilling. Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. The most likely scenarios, focusing on the top seeds. Consider this your ultimate cheat sheet for the 2026 postseason. This shows the absolute most likely playoff scenario based on those 25,000 simulations. Over in the National League, you've got the Los Angeles Dodgers grabbing that coveted top seed and a first-round bye, joined by the Brewers and Braves as the division winners. The NL wildcard picture is currently projecting the Cubs, Phillies, and Marlins to sneak in. Now flipping over to the American League, the New York Yankees are taking the top spot, flanked by the White Sox and the Rangers. And that AL wildcard, it's an absolute gauntlet, currently projecting the Rays, the Red Sox, and the Guardians.
Moving right along to Section 3, the National League picture, dominance and drama.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what absolute dominance looks like. The Los Angeles Dodgers are sitting on a playoff probability of greater than 99.9%. I mean, let that sink in for a second. Out of 25,000 simulations, there are almost literally zero where the Dodgers don't make the postseason. With a staggering 62-36 record by mid-July, they aren't just leading the NL West, they're effectively running away with the whole thing. They've got an 89.4% chance to win the division and secure that bye. They are just a perfectly tuned machine right now.
But if the Dodgers are a sure thing, the NL East is basically the exact opposite. Look at this incredibly tight margin between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins for a wildcard spot. The Phillies are sitting at a 48.4% chance to make the playoffs, while the Marlins are breathing right down their necks at 48.2%. It's incredibly close. And what's truly wild here is the momentum shift. The Phillies have actually dropped 11.6 percentage points over the last 30 days. Meanwhile, the Marlins, they've surged a massive 28.1% in that exact same window. It is an absolute dogfight in the East.
Let's pivot to Section 4, the American League picture, microscopic margins. Over in the AL East, we've got a really fascinating statistical anomaly to unpack. Earlier, we noted that the Yankees are projected to take the division and the top overall seed. Yet, when you look at pure probability to simply make the playoffs, the Tampa Bay Rays actually edged them out, 98.0% for the Rays compared to 97.6% for the Yankees. You might be wondering, why is that?
Well, at 56-40, the Rays actually have more raw wins than the 54-43 Yankees at this specific point in July. The simulation still slightly favors the Yankees to win the division outright, but it basically views the Rays as a marginally safer bet to at least secure a wild card spot.
So the crucial point is that every single game matters. And honestly, nowhere is that more evident than the AL West. The Texas Rangers hold a 47.1% playoff probability, while the Seattle Mariners are sitting at 46.8%. It is quite literally a fraction of a percent separating these two teams. The Rangers sit at 49-48, the Mariners at 48-50. It's basically a virtual coin toss at this point, and whoever manages to string together a solid winning streak in August is going to tip these scales dramatically.
Which brings us to Section 5, the wild card chaos, late season surges.
Talk about getting hot at the exact right time. The Boston Red Sox have gone on an absolute tear. In just 30 days, their playoff odds have skyrocketed by a staggering 49.5 percentage points. They're now sitting at a very comfortable 57.5% chance to make the postseason. That kind of upward trajectory, that is exactly what every manager dreams of when entering the second half of the season.
And over in the National League, the Chicago Cubs are totally mirroring that energy. They've seen their playoff odds jump 26.3% over the last month, locking down an incredibly strong 75% overall probability. The computers absolutely love the Cubs right now. At 54-43, they're establishing themselves not just as wildcard contenders, but as a seriously dangerous team that nobody's going to want to face in a short series. But, for every team surging, another team is sliding. And unfortunately for our viewers up north, you might actually want to look away for this one. The Toronto Blue Jays are in a total freefall. Over the last 30 days, their playoff hopes have plummeted by a brutal 39 percentage points. They are now sitting at a dismal 8.8% chance to play October baseball. It's a really harsh reminder of just how quickly the data and the season can completely turn on you if your bats go cold. And finally, Section 6. Looking ahead to October, who takes it all? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the clear separation at the very top. Out of all 30 teams, 3 absolute juggernauts stand head and shoulders above the rest. The Los Angeles Dodgers lead the pack with a 21.5% chance to win the World Series. The Milwaukee Brewers, who've been quietly assembling a powerhouse 60-37 season, are right behind them at 18.6%. And representing the American League, the New York Yankees sit at 13.4%. According to all those 25,000 simulations we talked about, it's highly likely that one of these 3 teams is going to be crowned the 2026 champions.
But that leaves us with the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer. Will these 25,000 computer simulations actually hold up against the reality of the diamond? I mean, the numbers are clear, the probabilities are meticulously set, but baseball has a funny way of defying the odds, doesn't it? We've seen massive searches, we've seen brutal free falls, and there's still a whole lot of baseball left to be played. So, what do you think? Are you betting on the math, or are you betting on the magic? Keep your eyes on the field, because the rest of this season is going to be a wild ride. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the stats, and I'll catch you next time.